Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We definitely love to have you. That community was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and that 7-figure level. So if you want to be a part of a community with some awesome members in there, definitely come check us out. Now, today, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community. I'm Grace Gravestock. Welcome, Grace.
Thank you, Extus.
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
Love it. So tell us, Grace, what is it that you do? What are you up to?
Well, I'm actually up to another transition. My business is called New Paradigm Transitions, and I am here to be a role model for what it looks like to live and be in the new paradigm. The way I look at the world is in terms of frequency, and my background is in large-scale organizational change management, so big technology projects. So I've done that for about 20 years, and over the last few years, had a lot of shifts in my life, personal change, divorce, layoff, downsizing, job shifting, give up my big fancy house, moved in with friends, and all kinds of change in a very short period of time. I decided to take some time off from work and work on myself and apply all the stuff that I had been teaching my clients and my, some big names. I worked for Deloitte, Warner Brothers, Dell. I worked for the UK government, state of California, and I've worked on some very large projects, worked with some really smart people. And I thought for sure of the stuff that we've been sharing with our corporate clients is the best in class. So if it works for technology, surely it can work for people when we go through change. So as I went through my own personal change, what I realized is that there was a missing component. And that missing component is energy. It's the whole energetic component. So it led me on a journey to become a biofield energy healer. I also learned about something called human design, and I now help people who are going through a midlife crisis of some sort to find their purpose. The process that I teach is all about knowing yourself, loving yourself, and self-care. And it's all based on an energetic blueprint. So as I've been exploring this whole energetic world and learning about frequencies, I've been experiencing it in my own life. So when you say, what are you doing now? I'm about to shift into yet another version of my own transformation, which is to create a healing center outside of Austin with some friends. And so we have a vision that we're following, and we will be, again, helping people in transition, but we'll be able to broaden the services of what we offer. So far I've been, most of my career was helping large companies and leaders and teams. And then after my own personal transition, decided to start helping individuals who were going through a midlife crisis of their own, much like mine. And then now we're going to broaden it out, and with the team I'll be working with, we'll be able to address physical issues as well. So we'll look at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual components of transition. So when people have, a divorce, a layoff, a health crisis, could be really any number of things. What I've noticed happens, what happened for me, and certainly has happened for a lot of my clients, the world falls apart, and all of a sudden, the social network and everything that you had before just doesn't fit, and you need a new support system, new people to work with, new family, family of choice or whatever, people that are going to support you in the new path. So what I'm up to now is creating a healing center outside of Austin in a place called Dripping Springs that will allow us to help more people, and we'll be using a really broad range of modalities. But my focus is really on the energetic space and helping people make positive change, because that's what I've been doing is change management for so long.
So what do you mean by the energetic? Because one of the things you said is like it's a missing piece for most individuals is the energetic type piece. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a component that a lot of people don't even recognize, but there are some books that help make it clear. There are the book that helped me the most was something called Power versus Force. And in that book, he talks about everything is a frequency. Everything has a frequency signature. So much like anywhere in the world that you go has a GPS, like a a Google Map address.
Mhm.
It has a latitude and a longitude. In the same way, everything that we experience, whether it's a thought, a feeling, an emotion, any kind of state of mind, has a frequency signature. And so when I say the energetic component was missing, it was really, my realization was that as I applied these techniques and processes to myself, which is what we did with the corporate clients for so many years, I just realized that it doesn't address that energetic component of, a lot of people think of it in terms of mindset, but it's kind of, one way to look at it would be like if you're with, you're with your colleagues, somebody walks in the room, all of a sudden it's like the air is sucked out of the room and you think, what's going on? Nobody has to say anything. If it's the person everybody knows, it's just like they feel it in their body. But how do you explain that? And how do you address it? And how do you manage your own state of frequency and energy in such a way that you can rise above people like that might, suck the energy out of a room or might affect you in a personal relationship? How do you deal with that? So that when I say missing component, that's what I learned about, was my own energy and how to manage my own vibrational state. And so since then I've been exploring that on many levels, and it's something that a lot of people don't know a whole lot about, but it's so fascinating because literally it can be measured. I mean, every thought, every word, every action, every emotion, has a frequency, an energy frequency and a signature. And so if we can change that, then we can change our state, and we can change much faster than we ever thought possible by addressing it on that frequency level.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So in essence, so this is a totally brand new path that you're currently on, right?
Yes and no. I mean, it's a brand new path in the sense that we're opening a healing center, and we're following, we're following guidance actually from a dream. We're following, it's kind of not what most people would. It's different. Let me just say not. I'm avoiding the word not, because thoughts, words, and feelings, everything. It's very important how we express, and because again, everything has a frequency. So I'm on a journey to avoid the word not, because I believe we are creators, and we create with our words, and we create with our thoughts. So I'm just consciously aware that I'm wanting to avoid the word not, because I want to tell you what it is. So can you ask the question one more time?
Mm-hmm. Oh goodness, I forgot what the question is. So I guess we'll just play it by fly, right? So in essence, so something you said as far as with the healing center, you said it's a dream. You're following a dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, how did that dream come about?
Yeah, this is probably going to be different for most people, that they would uproot their life over this. But I live with two other people. There's three of us. We call ourselves the Trinity. We all get along really well. It's a couple, and then I moved in when my marriage fell apart, and we found that we all got along really well, and we're very good friends, and we've started working together as well. And so how did this dream come about? Well, one of the team, his name is Ray, and he's been my business partner for almost 2 years, I would say. We've done a lot of teaching together. He gets premonitions, and he gets dreams. And in the dreams, things are given to him. I mean, he calls them downloads. But in this dream we were meant to open a healing center. And, the third person is Lynette, and she is very physically based. So she is a health coach. She's also done change management like me. That's actually how we met about 5 years ago. And she is a health coach for hormones. So she's very focused on test results and very specific measurable aspects of health. So between the three of us, we cover the gamut of looking at the health of a person in terms of their physical, emotional, and mental state. So he had this dream that she and us, the three of us, plus her daughter, would open a healing center in Dripping Springs, which is, about 30 miles outside of Austin, further than where we are. And what was so bizarre about that was when he told her the next morning, she was like, that's never going to happen. And then she talked to her daughter, who's a nurse, just recently become a nurse. And her daughter said, Mom, I think we should open some kind of a healing center.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so surprised that, like, oh, maybe there is something to this. And so we started, he kept getting more and more support for this. And then as I became open to it, and then all of a sudden, God, the universe, I mean, I don't know how, you understand the power that is greater than us, but suddenly we started being flooded by all these opportunities and people who have a similar dream, people who have a similar mindset. They want to help the healers, and they do various types of healing, have started just pouring into our lives and sharing their vision, which is very similar as well. So now we have this team of probably, I think we have about 8 people all together now, that have a very similar vision, and we all have a very similar idea of how we want to live. And so we talk about new paradigm communities, and it's just, so to answer your question, like, how did it come about? It came in a dream, and then as we all decided that we were going to move forward on it, things just started happening. Opportunity to sell the house that we live in, my roommate, her job just went away, and in perfect timing so that she had time to do the move. I mean, there's just so many things that have happened. People have been pouring into our lives to support this vision that we have. And so we feel very confident that even though it's not the way that it's different than the way most people would live their life and make major decisions like a move, it's what we're meant to do. And we just keep getting this support every time we move forward. There's always somebody right there to help us take the next step. So it's a beautiful way of living, but it's very different than certainly the way that I grew up, working with these big companies, and everything was kind of locked in. And now I'm like in this free fall. It feels like this, where I'm open to spirit and open to just like playing it by ear, and then trusting, living in love and trust instead of fear. And it's just a whole new world, but it's very exciting, and it really lights me up. I feel excited about living my purpose because I'm here to connect, motivate, and inspire others to be their best selves. And in the last couple of years, I've started to unlock my healing abilities. And so this healing center will allow all of us to explore some of those things that we've been doing on a personal level, in a broader context.
Yeah, that is some fascinating stuff, and I'm back here getting excited for you as well. It's because it definitely sounds like I think it's one of those places where not very many people get to being able to do what you do and get into the perspective that you are today. But I know for me, it's definitely been an interesting journey, because I know for myself, I've always been the logical type of person when I was first on my journey, and the place where I'm at today is like almost like one of those places where you just feel like you know your purpose. And the crazy thing is, right, the way you thought it would unfold, it's just not that way. It's just like one of those ways where it's even hard to kind of share with individuals, because you know that they just won't understand, right? Because it's one of those places where it's just like you could just feel it, you just know. And I think the best part about it as well too is when other people share that same vision, just like you said with the team. It's almost like the most outsiders, they probably won't get it. But when you get around the individuals who do understand this type of realm, who do understand how these things kind of come about, it's like they just like connect and they just like amplify each other, right?
Absolutely. Some people who are watching today might think of it as synchronicities. I know that when I first came across that word, I started noticing them more and more. And as I studied, what is a synchronicity? It's just these random things that we think initially that they might be random, but I now believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that we have a purpose. Each of us have an individual purpose. And as I went through my own personal transformation, leaving a toxic marriage and work that was very frustrating and unfulfilling to me, I have stepped into a new path, and it's just been exciting to discover even more on a deeper level, what my purpose is. And my purpose is to break down barriers between people and groups. I've always been kind of a little bit of a butterfly, going through between groups. But now as the world shifts, and, of course, with COVID being the first part of it, and all the other craziness that seems to keep happening every day, I believe it's all happening for a reason. And I feel like when those of us who are called to be healers and to be transformation agents, which is what I've been as a change manager, it's been preparing me all these years to have the skill set and to have the tool set and the toolbox, to be able to help people in whatever situation that they're in. I also overcame physically, I overcame cancer. I beat skin cancer. I still have scars all over my body. I had 250 moles that were cancerous, and I got rid of them without traditional doctors or medicine. I used I used alternative ways, but I healed completely. I rebuilt my immune system on my own. I rebuilt my digestive system, and all of that was a journey to health. And I used to think I needed to be a health coach to share that kind of stuff with the world. But now I realize, as a transformation agent, and especially in a healing center, I can help with a team, help people in whatever situation that they come to us in, to be able to get to their take the next step, and become a better version, or a healthier version, or a version of themselves that's more aligned with what they're actually here for. And I think that's a journey a lot of people are on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, powerful stuff, powerful stuff. So in essence, would you say, based on your journey, right? So getting to the place where you are today, back before you kind of found that purpose, found what you know, okay, this is the next stage in my life. Would you say you've always been on this path to where, when you were back, whether it's working the 9-to-5 job and stuff like that, did you think along the lines you think today, or was it a totally different level of thinking?
I think it's a whole different level of thinking. Yeah, I was in the corporate world, and I had what everyone would have considered a very successful career. I worked in 2 countries. I started my career, I grew up in Northern California, and did my undergraduate degree here, and then I moved to England to follow a romance and follow my heart. I ended up getting married and getting a master's degree, and I got into consulting there for the UK government. Had some great opportunities, and that gave me opportunities in the US, to do more of that kind of work for the governments and large companies. So from that perspective, I always knew that I was going to use a certain skill set, the skill set that is very helpful to a consultant, speaking, coaching, facilitating, writing, communicating. I've always been a communicator at heart. So I knew that I would always be using those skills. And I liked how consulting gave me the opportunity to use those skills. I'm really good at starting things, not as strong at finishing them. So it worked well for me to be a consultant and start the project, and then hand it off to the people who were going to then keep it going long term. And all along, I kind of had a feeling that I would always be helping people. I would always be using my voice in some way. I grew up singing, and I used to be on a radio show for 6
Oh,
years.
what? You used to sing? You sang? Okay, go ahead. You could sing right now. Are you ready?
I can sing, but you mean a cappella?
Yes.
Well, what to sing? Well, I'll just sing just one line of one of my dad's favorite songs is "The Rose." So it's let's see, it starts like this. Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed.
Oh, goodness. I thought you were joking around. You really can sing.
Well,
I love
thank you.
this.
I gave up singing for a long time when I was married. It was causing an issue in my marriage, and so I really stopped up my voice for many years. And so that's part of the message that I have to share with our listeners today, is that if you have something in your heart and you have a voice, whatever that means for you, maybe it's a voice for justice, or it's a voice to sing and to express yourself in a creative way, or if whatever it is that you have a voice for, I want to encourage you today to don't give it up for anyone. Don't try to change yourself for anyone like I did. Trust that if you've been given that voice, it's for a reason, and that there's a purpose for it. I was separated from using my voice for many years, and I'm so grateful that now I'm back in the space where I can sing and I can use my voice for good and really live my purpose, because now I'm feeling excited and energized to live. But it wasn't always like that. I've really had some ups and downs through life, and there were times when I just wanted to give up, but being able to use my voice has really helped me to find the fulfillment and satisfaction that I know I'm living my purpose.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome stuff. So tell us, in terms of, let's see, skills wise, what's one skill you say you've mastered that's kind of gotten you to where you are today?
A skill that I've mastered. What I'm really good at is connecting with people. So I have an uncanny ability to be able to connect with people on a deep level very quickly. And so I can get into really deep conversations with my clients and really get to the heart of what the issue might be. And there's just a deep sense of intimacy that we can get to pretty quickly. And I would say that is one of my superpowers. I'm really glad to be able to connect. That enables me to motivate and inspire others, because my purpose is to do that, but really it's with the intention of helping the other person see what they're really here for. And so I have a lot of tools in my tool chest to do that with. I usually start with looking at the energetic blueprint. It is based on, you know, some personal information. So I usually get that and we look at it. It gives us a visual kind of a chart of the person's energetic blueprint, and we go from there. I mean, that chart tells you everything you need to know. And what it has helped me to do is to learn to know myself, love myself, and then self-care. And in these times, especially when we're doing all this, you know, working from home and, you know, people having to juggle in such different ways than before, you know, kids and family and work obligations, and then maybe not having work, you know, maybe losing jobs. So many people are losing jobs now because the empire is crumbling. You know, what can we do about it? I think keeping an attitude, a positive attitude, and trust, living in love and trust instead of fear, is really important to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. So what about habits wise? What's one habit you believe that if someone practice, or that we all should practice in some way, that's gonna evolve, whether it's ourselves, our community, our society? What's one habit?
Oh, absolutely. It's a gratitude journal. That absolutely changed my life. You know, because I teach about frequencies and everything is a frequency, when we set an intention for what we want, it's literally what I believe is the missing component to the law of attraction. I mean, I don't say missing, it's there if you look hard enough for it, but a lot of people miss it because it seems so simple. But I teach a process, which is a gratitude journal process that anyone can do. You need 5 minutes a day and a pen and paper, and that's it. You literally write. It's in 2 parts. The first part is I'm so happy and grateful that, and you literally fill in the blank, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, as long as it's genuinely something that you're happy and grateful for. That's all it needs to be. Fill it in. And then the second part looks the same, but it's actually different. I'm so happy and grateful that, colon, and then 1, 2, 3, fill in the blanks. This time you're filling it in with things that you don't yet have, but you want to have. And here's the kicker: you can be grateful for right now, as if. So act as if .info is going to be you'll see an offer there that you're going to love. It's the secret to creating the life that you want. It's about acting as if you already have it and accessing it through the frequency of gratitude. That's why this gratitude journal is a little bit different than some that you might have heard of before. It's crucial that you come to that space with gratitude as if it's already true, embedded with emotion as if you already have it. That's absolutely crucial, and you will see your life just start to shift. You'll become aware of all the good things you have in your life, and you will start to see that all those things you write down will increase. You'll get more of that. And if you haven't yet seen it in your physical reality, when you start writing it, you will be attracting it to you. And if you look at your energetic blueprint, you know, we could talk about that in a personalized session, how exactly that works for you, but it's the most amazing thing that I've discovered to create the life that I want in my life. And I use it to help my clients all the time.
Love it, Grace. Hey, well, looks like we're kind of running short on time here, but if someone wanted to connect, what's the best way for them to be able to reach out?
Yeah, the best way to reach out is probably LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Grace Gravestock, or if you wanted to schedule time for us to chat, go to askgrace.info, just like it sounds, askgrace.info. And that will be my scheduling page. We can do a discovery call if you're interested in talking more about your own energetic blueprint, or if you already know about human design and you want to get right into the details, there's options there too. But that's the best way to connect with me. Is if you want to just stay in touch, like let's get connected on LinkedIn. If you're interested in having a conversation, go to askgrace.info and we'll have a free discovery call and we'll start the conversation.
Awesome. Love it. What about free resources? Do you have any free resources?
I do. I have a YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos, a lot of great information there. And it's called takebackyourpower.info. So takebackyourpower.info, that will get you straight to my YouTube channel. And I took a break actually on creating videos for the last couple months because I was really focused on connecting to my heart. I'd been focused in my head, you know, using the thinking mind. And what I've been learning is that it's really important, especially as we move forward, to speak from our heart and to connect with our heart. So that's what I've been doing, taking a little bit of break, but I will be doing more videos. There's a lot there already. So if anyone is interested in checking it out, a lot of good resources.
Awesome. Love it, Grace. Well, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here with us today. Really, really appreciate it, and really appreciate you sharing your story. Do you have any final thoughts before we end for the day?
I would say my final thought is, if you're not getting what you want to have in your life, if you don't have the life you want, I want you to ask yourself, is my intention clear? And once you have a clear intention, use it in the gratitude journal as if you already have it, and see amazing things happen. But that's the first question, is asking yourself, what have I been thinking about? What is creating? What am I doing to create the world that I'm living in? And do I have a clear intention of what I want to create? And as you do the gratitude journal, it will become clearer, because it will kind of force you to write out what you like, what is good in your life. And as you write more of that, you'll get more of that. And it's absolutely a beautiful transformation. You can have a whole new life just based on that one thing.
Love it, love it. Well, hey, thank you again for sharing that. That's an awesome tip here. Really appreciate it. And yes, we'll be in touch. Okay.
Okay, thanks so much.